Let's talk about data cleansing with R made simple. We were talking about El Salvador homicide rate and how to create beautiful visualizations in R in order to display our data. We were using R to create these astonishing visualizations copying from the web. You will learn how to rename columns, add new observations to your data frame, how to order your data, how to remove observations, and how to change set values here in R now. Once we have copied our data, and in this case TF2, you can see that you can change certain things when you compare to the information in the web. Here, for example, that we don't have the columns names as well as the first observation, so we have to add it. This is our for example now. Let's see. We're going to copy all this information here for our columns name. Now, how do we do this in R? Well, I'm just gonna copy what it and paste, and you can see I'm just gonna start changing. Year is our first column, then comma and total homicide. You can see we're gonna finish here and close parentheses, and there you go. Now, this is a vector in R, as you can see it, but we have to do something with this vector. Well, because we have the F2, we should use it with calls names. And then we're going to say, okay, this goes there. And for the F2, and you will see how this is going to change now. And let's compare the F2. There you go. Now, we were able to add the columns names to our data. That's great. Then what is missing? Well, it's missing the year 2023. You can see there, it's not there. How to add it? Well, let's go. We have this information here. I'm just going to copy this information in order to know it. I'm going to paste it. However, I don't want this estimate. I'm just going to put a comma here. I don't want, maybe it's only from January to June, but I'm going to copy all this information for 2023, and I just create a new vector. Check here how to add it here to my data frame. Well, first of all, we have to give it a position, a new index, 1 to 13. So we have to add it in the 14th position. Now, let's check here that I can calculate what are the number of rows. Check here, no rows in my data frame, the F2. Now, in here, I'm going to automatize. That's why I'm going to copy this in an insert time variable called n should be equal to 13. Now, I'm going to say df2. I'm going to save it in the position 14. That's why I'm going to add a new one. The comma, because we are adding information in all the columns in our data frame. Check here. Okay, this should be 14. Okay, it's going to be equal to this vector. And we know that there are 4 different columns, and we just add it. And there you go. Now let's compare. 23. There you go. Now we're almost complete. What is still missing? Well, as you can see that we don't have our information in the right order. That should be our next step. Now, what are you going to do? Well, df2 can be ordered in different ways. However, in my case, I know that I should order it, sort it using year. That's what I'm going to do. So we come here and we say year. You can see that we have to change position here. So let's see. We're going to use the function order. So R will tell me which should be the right order in increasing way for default. You can see this position, the 13th position, should be in the first position. And this one should remain here. And the year 2022. If you want to change it, of course, the order here increasing or decreasing, you can change it, changing the option false or true. Okay, in this case, decreasing is false. So you change it to true. And now, once we have the right index, this one has the index, we're going to say, okay, TF2, and here, brackets, and commas to separate columns. And there you go. And now we have it. Okay. However, this has to go CF2 right here. All this saved in the record. There you go. Ta-ta-ta-ta. Now we got it. We have all our information in a clean and super simple data frame using R. Now, let's see an example number 2. The example number 2 is if we have this case. Check the F1. The F1. I just copied the information from the web, and I was able to copy the column's name using the different options. However, the first observation, the second observation should be merged into one. How can I do that? Well, in this case, I'm going to change cell values. Okay. For example, how to change this value only as well as this one. And check something else. That years are characters. It should be numeric. Character. In the F2, all this was numeric. So we have certain stuff to do. The first one should be to change this value, 2023, to here. And replace and change this information here. So we are in the column year, second observation. Okay. We say here, the F1. And how to select that one is that to be 1 and 1. 2 and 1. Second observation in the second cell in the first column. Let's check it was true. Okay, so you can see it. Other way should be using the name. In this case, that is year. It's super important to use the uppercase if we have to. It's the same. You can use both ways, and you say, okay, now I want it to change it to 2023. And there you go. That's how you change values, cells values. You can see here. And now we are going to replace this one over here. And it's almost the same. TF1. And we're going to say it's in the second line, but the column is homicide per 1,000 inhabitants. So let's see here. That has to be a little bit complicated. So I'm going to use this trick. And there you go. You can see. R helps me a little bit. And then put some quoting mark. And remember, if not, you just have to use the F1, here, second, and there you go. That's the same. Should work both, okay? Because it's the column name, and this is the name. Both have to work, okay? And now here, I want to change it only to 2.5. There you go. That's how it works. However, if you want to make it a little bit better, maybe because there's not only one single cell that you want to change, well, you can compare. I haven't run this yet, okay? And then the F1, and they're going to say, okay, you know, in this column, there are so multiple values like that. Okay, so we say, this one is number 1, sorry. The F1 is say, okay, there are so many identical values to this one. So we're going to compare it to 2.5. Let's see. And what else? 2.5 estimated. I'm just going to copy this here with a space. Estimated. Okay. Maybe there's something. There are multiple. You are working with thousands of observations. Let's see if it finds one like this. There you go. And you can see it detected right here. In this case, we only have 15 cells, 15 observations, but you can be working with thousands. So it's better to automatize all this. And then I put the comma because I want R to detect those cells. And there you go. It's telling me this in the second observation. So you can see. So that one you have to change. But check that I was using all the cells in that row, but I want exactly in the fourth. So let's compare before. And you see, okay, I want that now to be 2.5. So there are multiple ways to do it, as you can see, to change cells values. And we're going to change it right now. And let's check if it works. 2.5. Once we have achieved our goal, we need to eliminate certain cells, as you can see here, or observations. We don't need the first one. How to eliminate that? How to remove it? Well, we say df1, and we are going to say commas, and we have to say negative to remove certain columns or rows. In this case, it's the first one. We can see that it doesn't appear anymore, but we have to save that back. df1, and we'll say, okay, I don't want the first observation, the first row. And there you go. Let's compare. Ta-ta-ta-da. What else? Oh no, it's telling me character. It shouldn't be like that. All these columns are numeric, so we have to change all of them. This one were detected numeric. This one no, and this one neither. So let's check how to change data format. F1 tag, we say here should be equal to as.numeric, and we copy that back. I want numeric. There you go, and we're gonna compare this one. There you go. Check that this one is in the right order, so we don't have to do something else. And the other next one, I'm just gonna do the same. F1, and know which column I'm working with. Homicide per 100,000 inhabitants equal to as.numeric. There you go. TF1, there you go. And let's check. And we're on fire, ready. We have a beautiful data frame that we can compare with df2, and you can see it is the same information. Well, to change here, we're just gonna apply the function order again to have a beautiful data frame that you can use to display certain visualizations in R. And that's our final goal.